So now I'm at my baler, my Krone baler, and I'm not picking on John Deere, I'm not picking on any other baler manufacturer, I'm not picking on any individual farmers or not. Any other YouTubers that, I said I was trolling a certain person, and yeah, I guess I did see his video, somebody had pointed me in that direction, but I've used the John Deere baler on a limited scale. It was just a demonstration, and I just really think that you have to look at a professional quality baler if you're going to be a professional in the field. Not saying that John Deere doesn't make a good baler. It is a John Deere or a Kuhn Deere. That's what it is. John Deere, Kuhn. John Deere bought the rights to use Kuhn's basic design and improve upon it, which they did. And I think they did a wonderful, excellent job. But I did make reference to some of the anemic parts and some of the things that I thought were problems and some of the things that I thought were beneficial to the design. Now, John Deere currently has the widest pickup by like a quarter of an inch or a half an inch. They went from the narrowest pickup in the industry to the widest pickup, and they do have a good pickup design, but it's not great. It's good, it's not great. I'm not saying that Krone has the perfect pickup, but I like the Krone pickup. I wish Krone would put that heavy tine on the ends like John Deere has done, and I'll show you why. No matter what you do, these balers, no matter how wide they make them, no matter what they do with them, if you look at this pickup, this has 5 tine bars. They're not bars, they're solid. There's no flexing, it's a spring that's solid mounted, there's no cam, and that thing spins at such a phenomenal speed that it actually throws the hay to the back of this thing. And this is an accelerator, or I call it an accelerator, but it is a cross auger with a paddle in front there. Very substantial. This area here is what I do not like about Krone, New Holland, Heston, and I really like this area here when it comes to the John Deere. If I could get that on a Krone, it would make the Krone the perfect machine, in my opinion. In certain types of hay, on the older baler, this would wrap. I don't know about this baler because, let's face it, it doesn't have any dirt on it. It's brand spanking new. But the other thing that I like about this baler is the fact that it will eat more hay than any other baler on the market by 30%. This baler is 30% faster than any other baler of its class on the market. And the amazing thing is that Krone actually has a higher capacity baler than this one on the market, the PT-2, which is an 8-tie baler, and that is a class of its own. Now, when I pulled the door open and I pointed out that it was easier to put baling twine in the John Deere, I meant it. This has a double stack system, which makes the baler narrower than what the John Deere is, but it also makes it more difficult to fill the twine boxes. And I'll probably set that down and show you in a little bit. Now, let's come up to the front here, and I will show you what I mean when I say that flywheel on the John Deere is quite anemic and small in size. The bigger the circumference of a flywheel, you can keep it the same weight and increase the circumference. It gives you more inertia or kinetic energy, which is what a flywheel is. It's inertia. The tractor gets that big mother scratcher spinning, and the size of the wheel keeps it going. So, and when I said about the gearbox being anemic or small, if you look at this gearbox, you will understand what the heck I am talking about. When I say this thing is massive, it is massive. I mean massive. That thing is huge. It's huge. This is actually an overdrive gearbox. It spins. This flywheel spins faster than what the PT-2 spins at. At least I was told that. That's what they boasted that it was. And when I talked about the flywheel starter being of, I wouldn't say an inferior design, but you'll smoke the belts on it. Here's the starter for the Krone. It is a hydraulic gearbox driven flywheel. hydraulic gear. This is a hydraulic gearbox driven flywheel starter, and I also believe that this is where the overdrive is. That's 1,000 RPM going in, and I think it's 1,100 RPMs going back to the flywheel. So it takes a lot of power to get that sucker moving. I think there's a planetary in there somehow. I'm not sure, but I know that that's an overdrive. Air compressor right there, mounted there, same on the other baler, and that is your blower system. It blows off the baler in many different places, and I can show you all the pipe routings that has with it. The VFS, variable fill system, or VFS, I believe is what that's called. VFS. That is your pre-charge and stuffer mechanism right there. You see all those tine bars there? Those things are like a Hume reel on a combine, and they just pack that thing full like a Hume reel would, and then when it becomes full, it trips here, and that derails the VFS, stiffens one tine bar, and it shoves it right up into the bale chamber. If you saw the rollers on the John Deere baler, you would see that they are quite small. And this space in here, this is 6 inches. There's a 6-inch roller in there. I mean, that thing is big. It's a big roller. And that's greased automatically through the automatic luber system. There is but one shear bolt on this entire machine. Everything has overrunning clutches. The flywheel has no shear bolts. Shear bolts on a flywheel are a nuisance. It has an overrunning clutch on it. So if you overpressure the plunger, pow, it stops the plunger from turning. It stops the entire baler from turning, and that flywheel takes about 20 minutes to stop turning. It's crazy. You have to put the brake on, which is right here. And you just pull that and apply that. The needles are different design. I think the John Deere actually has better needle design. I really truly do. I think that multi-piece needle design is better. It's stronger. This is just a piece of well, I guess this is welded on the inside too. I just like the John Deere needle design better. It has the nice wide rollers up there, and you're not going to be able to see them, but this has the nice wide rollers like the John Deere does as well. The other thing that this thing has, which I really like, is the twine tensioners being this style versus the other style of, say, Heston John Deere, which are, an arm with a coil spring like that on it. Here's one of the air blowers. It actually blows dirt and chaff away from this area. And up top, the plunger dogs are on rubber stoppers, so it's quieter operation with coil springs right here. Those coil springs are adjustable, so that if they are having problems, you just, coil spring the damn thing, tighten it up, loosen it up, change it out, and you don't have to do this whole pin deal to take it apart to do it. You just, one of these little doodads here, you just kind of flip it out of the way, right here. It's one of these pull pins, spring-loaded pull pins, see? And you pop that thing up, and then you can take it off, and the whole thing comes out of there like that. Real nice. Very well thought after. When you get to the back of the baler where the compression, I guess you would call it a compression cage, or for the rams, that ram housing that's up there, that massive ram housing that's up there. This has 4 rams on 2 rams on either side. The size of this thing is, I'm telling you, when I said it was 5 times, I meant it was 5 times. 5 times the compression on that thing. And if you look at this baler, it's 30 feet long from this point here to the tip of the tongue. 30 feet long. I measured it because it has to go on a trailer. The actual bale chamber itself, if you come all the way up here, the compression boards, look at this. I mean, the John Deere was about here. You come all the way up here to this point here. This is where the hinges are. And they had, not saying Krone had this problem, but other manufacturers had problems with their bale chambers where these hinges are, this stuff all breaks apart. Just look at that. You know, we're talking 7/8 inch thick steel, all welded in there. All their welds, when they weld something, they trail off for strength. The end of this plunger stroke is here. It's actually at the end of its stroke. So here's the face of the plunger, like right here. Oh, is it there? Where's the face of that plunger? No, right there. Face of the plunger is right here. It stops there, okay? You got about a foot between here and that hinge. This is 12 feet. Here's another foot from the face of the plunger. You got 13 feet to that face, the stop of that plunger. Huge bale chamber, just enormous. When we come up top here, and this is getting long-winded, there's a power takeoff shaft, but everything is electronic. I can set the length of the bale from the cab seat to tractor seat, so that's always good. It's pretty tight in here, and you're not going to be able to see much until I turn on my light. So give me a second here. Come on.
When you're in an accident, choosing the right lawyer,
you know, this is crazy.
Really big decision. Do you have
Come on, you idiotic thing. Okay, so Teresa got to church. Here's my light. Okay, typical knife or typical knotter system. It doesn't look much different than, say, the Heston or the New Holland or even that John Deere. I'm not saying that it is, but if you look at these twine discs, those twine discs have a very, let me see, you can see a very different design. They actually grab, there's a huge opening there for that to catch them, the double knot twine, and that's where you get your 750-pound knot strength twine. Your Tucker arms are double rolled in there, a large and a small roller there, and these pipes here, this is all for blowing air, front, back, and it blows it all around in there twice per bale, the beginning and in the middle and at the end of the bale. It makes that, it does make that that puff of air that makes it work so well. The only shear bolt on this entire thing, and you won't have to worry about a needle collision with this baler because it's impossible. This is your shear bolt right here. This guy right here, right there. It's for the needles. So as your knotter goes around and this strokes your needles up into the bale chamber, if you break that bolt that's on the pull, the needles will just kind of maybe get stuck halfway up through if you break that, and then when it goes back around, this stopper here will actually force the needles back, so there's no need for that long rod that every manufacturer has on theirs that forces the needles back out of the bale chamber, preventing a collision. We don't like collisions in big balers, not a good thing. Oh Lord, so yeah, I really feel that this baler, and I don't know what the weight of the John Deere L341 is, but this one is 11,000 kilograms empty, nothing in it. So they told, and that would be on this side, I can't show it to you, but I was talking about the height of the pickup when it's off the ground. This one here can actually go up a little higher than what it is right now. That tongue is low. That's only set at maybe 15, 16 inches, but when you set it up, the pickup on this had a much higher clearance than what the John Deere did. But yeah, I wish that Krone would put a system like John Deere has in their feeding system, just because I think it's a better system. But we all have to have differences, and all manufacturers have differences. But this baler is one class act. Now, any of the commercial baling companies that bale commercially for profit, like I'll use Pacific Ag. Pacific Ag generally uses 99% of their balers are Krone balers. I actually talked to Krone North America, and they sold Pacific Ag. I want to say, I think they sold them 22 balers last year. 22 of these balers. I think it was 22 balers. It might have been, maybe that was a year before. But yeah, here's your, this is really nice. This is your twine chart. Okay, so you have HDP Strong, HDP Extreme. This red one here, that's 750 pound knot strength. This is 650, this is 600 or 625. I can't remember, I gotta look at it. You have really nice, this is the one that I normally, these two, one of these two. I used this the first year, used this the second year. My problem with these were they were hard on the bill hooks, and bill hooks are quite expensive. So if you look at the chart here, you've got negative to positive being the extreme there. So when it gets to this point, this baler will take the 750 pound knot strength twine, packing in a full ton or more per bale. And if you go to the HDP-2, that's 2 more strings on there, 8 tie baler, that will definitely pack a 2,500 plus pound bale. They're heavy. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed both of these videos, and I hope you didn't think that I was digging at anybody. Just a little, maybe. Just a little. But I just wanted to show the differences. And there are differences.